The House is really in uncharted territory with this vote, and they can't do much of anything else until a speaker is chosen. And we have WWL-TV political analyst Clancy DuBos with us in the studio tonight. Clancy, the whole full House waited to vote on Scalise's nomination. Why do you think that is?
That's because he doesn't have the votes. It's really that simple. The minute he gets above that threshold of 217, and he probably wants to get all 221 Republican votes in the House, that would really be a strong statement, but he'd like to have a lock on 217. And knowing Steve Scalise, and I've known him for almost 30 years now, he really wants to get more than just the bare minimum. He doesn't want to get in squeaking in like McCarthy did. He wants to have the Republican delegation, the Republican conference united behind him. It's the only way he can effectively be Speaker.
Now, Clancy, like you just said, you've known him for a long time. What are his chances of getting support?
Well, I think he certainly is capable of it. He's much more so than Jim Jordan. And I think it's significant that former President Trump endorsed Jordan, and yet a majority of the Republican House Conference voted against Donald Trump's designee or anointee. That's a pretty significant thing, and I don't think enough people are paying attention to that, because I think that's a pretty strong signal of where Donald Trump is these days. And it also sends a pretty good message about where Steve Scalise is. He's been every bit as loyal to Donald Trump as Jim Jordan was, but he's not as much of a bomb thrower. In fact, Scalise is not a bomb thrower. Jordan is. Scalise is more of a let's get together and talk to each other and reason together kind of guy. And I think that speaks well for him, and I think it will enhance his chances of putting together the votes. But, you know, he's one step away, but it is a very, very big step. I think of the two, Scalise is clearly better at putting together 217 votes than Jordan would have been.
Well, it took 15 House votes just to get McCarthy the gavel. House Republicans tried to amend the voting rules so that this whole process would go more quickly. Do you think we could see another long process with Scalise, Clancy?
I don't think Steve Scalise will bring this to a floor vote unless he knows he has 217 votes. I don't see this going on multiple ballots. If it takes more than one ballot, it'll be because he gets really, really close. But I think he won't want to bring it up unless he absolutely knows he's got all the votes, because it was such a horrible look for the Republican Party and for the House, the Republicans in the House. And they cannot risk having that again. They need to all go in, not just Steve Scalise, but the entire GOP conference needs to come back knowing they've got the votes for either Steve Scalise or somebody else. And right now, it's Steve Scalise.
Well, it certainly is interesting to watch this play out with someone that we know well here in Louisiana. So thank you, Clancy. We'll continue to get your insight, and we'll keep watching the House for a vote and bring you at home any updates on air and online as we get them.